Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we start our discussion, we're gonna introduce ourselves. My name is Aina Afiqah Binti Idrus with matrix number 200647.
My name is Muhammad Amir Rahimi bin Muhammad Hanafiah. My matrix number is 201056.
My name is Hanani Binti Kamaruddin and my matric number is 201038.
My name is Siti Nurshahirah Binti Zainal Abidin and my matrix number is 200970.
My name is Dayana Binti Ramli with matric number 203887.
So our topic for today is genetically modified foods or GMF. GMF is also known as genetically engineered food or bioengineered foods. They are produced from organisms that has changed their DNA using methods of genetic engineering. So for me, GMF should be banned because it can increase the usage of herbicides and also pesticides. As pesticides and also herbicides increase, it can leave more chemical residues on crops, and this will increase the harm on environmental damage. This issue will be growing when overuse of those herbicides will increase the production of weeds. As we all know, that when the number of weeds doubles or increases, it will involve the repeated use of the same herbicides. And weeds are one of the major threats that can affect environment. As we all know, it can destroy natural habitats. It can also includes river and forest. Wheat can invade crops, which it can reduce poor quality as they are aggressively compete for water, nutrients, and also sunlight.
That's true, Aina. I also support your point. As we all know, GMF can also affect the environment by contaminating soils by the use of pesticide repellent that are much more acidic than normal repellent. Toxins released into the soil through the plant's roots mean fewer spoiled bacteria, which are integral to healthy soil for plants to grow without the use of chemical fertilizers. Toxic residues are left in the soil of GM crops, and nutrients are not returned to the soil in monocrops and from GMO foods, meaning that soil is becoming dry and void all nutrients, generally integral to the growing process. A cycle of dependence on GMO seeds and chemical fertilizers, pesticides and herbicides is then created in order to grow a single crop. In addition to soil issues, the irrigation used to grow GM foods naturally carries all the problems into water sources and into the air. This exposes different bacteria, insects, and animals to the same problems. And as we all know, GM crops can and do cross-pollinate with wild and non-GM crops. Other sources of contamination are the inadvertent spread of seed by farm machinery as well as mixing seeds during storage. Cross-pollination will not only contaminate wild plants, it will also affect their natural genetic makeup, and will also seriously compromise any organic and non-farming system. New genetic engineering techniques we know is CRISPR, also known as CRISPR. These genetic engineering techniques will increase the danger of plants with altered genes spreading throughout the whole wild populations. This gene drive system allows for an edited gene on one chromosome to copy itself into its partner chromosome. The result is that nearly all offspring will inherit the engineered gene. If just a few organisms with gene drives are released into the wild, the whole population could end up with these edited genes, so it is considered bad for the environment. Furthermore, the long term of GMOs are not certain. Pests that are targeted by this agricultural method can adapt to pesticides and herbicides. In addition to the DNA changes in GM plants to make them resistant, this means that they will not always be effective, but their toxic legacies will remain. I guess that is all from me. Amir, what is your point of view?
That's a good point, Ain. but I'm quite disagree about your point of view, because from a study from Michael Stebbins, it's been said that GMF the users of GMF reduces the carbon dioxide emission by 8%. So it is actually it is equivalent to 16.7 million cars, reducing 16.7 million cars a year. So GMF is actually good for the environment because it reduces the carbon dioxide emission that may lead to greenhouse effect to our environment. And besides that, the genetically modified food crops have disease and also pesticides repellent in their DNA. Due to this modified DNA, it can lower the cost of the uses of pesticides that also may lead to soil deterioration of composition and lead farmers to do soil tillage. As we all know, soil tillage may lead to fractures of soil, disrupt soil structure, and also accelerating soil runoff that may lead to soil erosion and landslides. So this is all may lead to environmental effect to the ecosystem. That is why I encourage us to not banning genetically modified food that may lead us to a better world.
Sorry, but I don't agree with you, Amir. Genetically modified food should be banned because it releases a huge amount of carbon. The conversion of pastures and forests to cropland is an environmentally costly process. It releases carbon that is stored in plants and soil. So the expansion of based on research, the expansion of cropland would add the equivalent of 0.92 billion tons of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So this excess amount of carbon can warm the planet where there is rising in temperature of the earth. By this increasing in temperature, it can lead to greenhouse warming. So as we all know, greenhouse warming doesn't happen right away because the ocean soaks up heat. But this means that Earth temperature will increase a little bit more because of the existence of the carbon dioxide that is already in the atmosphere. Then by GMF, it added more amount of carbon into the atmosphere. So the temperature of the Earth will increase. Besides that, speak in the term of the ocean, carbon dioxide can make water become more acidic. So it can put the life of marine organism in danger. So for example, if the water is more acidic, it can dissolve the carbonate shells of marine organisms. So it can affect their life by making them pitted and also weak. Other than that, a product of the greenhouse effect could decrease the abundance of phytoplankton. So phytoplankton is actually, it can grow better in cool and nutrient-rich water instead of acidic water that caused by the carbon dioxide. So by this, it can affect the marine life. So it can limit the oceans. The decreased amount of phytoplankton can limit the ocean's ability to take carbon from atmosphere through fast carbon cycle. So this will disrupt the nature cycle and also affect the diversity. So I suggest that we should ban this genetically modified food.
Okay. I also agree with Nurshahirah, which is genetically modified food, should be banned due to environment impact. Because for assessing the environment impact of GM crops is often difficult as many factors are considered. Some scientists also focus on the potential risk of GM crops. So I agree, GM food should be banned due to the environment effect. This is because a growing population, global warming, and loss of biodiversity has tremendous impact of our environment. I say that because by year 2050, there will be 9.5 billion people living on this planet. This means in less than 15 years, world population is expected to increase by 3 billion. Feeding these people will mean massive change in their production, distribution, and stability of food products. And then cropland and population are not uniformly distributed. For example, China has only 1.5% of the world production land, but 20 to 25% of the world population. This situation is further aggravated by diminishing cropland due to erosion, fewer renewable resources, less water, and reduced population working the land. As Shahirah said just now, there will be acidic in water in marine, and increasing human population is responsible for wilderness destruction, water quality problem, and diversion of water. And then the loss of habitat has resulted in many species being displaced. So, to conserve forests, habitat and biodiversity, it is necessary to ensure that future food requirements come only from cropland currently in use. So that's why I say GMF should be banned due to the environment impact.
I see what you are saying, Dayana, but I have a different point of view. From Graham Brooks on his research on pesticides and carbon emission, it is been proven that with GMF, the uses of pesticide and also carbon emission decreases to our atmosphere. So it is a great effect towards our environment. And do you all know when genetically modified food crops being practiced, it reduces the uses of pesticide. The pesticides and also fertilizers uses the compound like ammonium and also other molecules that can deteriorate our soil composition, that also may lead to our soil to become more acidic or either acidic or alkali. So it is bad for our soil and also for our environment. That is why I against the
Agree.
banning of genetically modified food.
So, do we all agree that we should ban genetically modified food?
Yes.
So I said yes, Aina said yes, and Amir said yes. So we can go to conclusion. Which is, in conclusion, we agree that genetically modified food should be banned because if not, the environment and ecological concern potentially associated with GM crops and are evaluated prior to their release. In addition, post-approval monitoring and good agriculture system need to be in place to detect and minimize potential risks, as well as to ensure that GM crops continue to be safe after their release. Comparison among GM, conventional, and other agriculture practice, such as organic farming, will bring to light the relative risk and benefit to adopting GM crops. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.